Hey, what's up, you guys? Great to have you back. I'm Sean David, and welcome back to the show. Being a huge Chicago Bulls fan, and especially in the 1990s, of course, Scottie Pippen has to be one of my favorite players even until today. And I gotta be honest, it drives me seriously mad if I hear that there are some people, and especially analysts and journalists, that say that Scottie Pippen is not a Hall of Famer and not one of the greatest players who ever played in the game. You hear that, Skip Bayless? To me, it's just crazy, because if they would do their homework, then they actually would know that there was a season where Scottie Pippen actually proved that he can work and be one of the best players in the game, even without Michael Jordan. So this is what this video is going to be all about. But before we start with this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I would say, let's start right away.
Scottie Pippen is going in. We know Michael Jordan is going to be one of the ones to present him. Is Pippen one of the 50 greatest NBA players? He was called that.
Seriously?
Well, he was.
There's no way Scottie Pippen belongs in the top 50. In fact,
and you call me delusional.
If the Basketball Hall of Fame had the baseball and NFL standards for its Hall of Fame, there's no way Scottie Pippen is a Hall of Famer. He was purely a product and creation of the greatest player to play in any sport ever. And I don't have to mention his name, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the greatest solo act. What's that?
It's ridiculous.
So
he won by himself. That's what you're saying. Michael Jordan won by himself. Scottie Pippen didn't matter, huh?
Hey, I don't mind Michael Jordan saying, I didn't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. I don't mind, if Larry Bird said, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team. But if Scottie Pippen say, I don't want Isaiah to be on the dream team,
that's a problem.
Man, come on. You can't say nothing.
So I want to start off this video by taking a look at Scottie Pippen's NBA career pre-Michael Jordan's first retirement. Scottie Pippen was one of the surprise draft picks of the 1987 NBA draft. Not known to many scouts since he played for the small University of Central Arkansas, Pippen went totally under the radar. Selected with a 7th pick by the Seattle Supersonics and then traded to the Chicago Bulls for Olden Polynice, Pippen was the first centerpiece of the young supporting cast for Michael Jordan. In his rookie season, Pippen performed decent, still having many doubters if Pippen would ever become an NBA superstar. But the more time went on, the more Pippen proved that he actually belonged. He had a very rare combination of great defensive skills as well as being a very versatile offensive player. Throughout the late 1980s, Pippen developed more and more into an NBA star, showing his great all-around basketball skills. He was not the first point forward, but one of the first wing players who actually brought the ball up the floor. He turned into Michael Jordan's sidekick, being the second scoring option next to MJ. In the beginning of the 1990s, Pippen was an NBA superstar, putting up sensational stats, having already made a name for himself as being one of the elite defenders in the NBA. He was a vital part of the Chicago Bulls' first three-peat, and also got a deserving spot on the Dream Team.
It's like having to lose someone to death. I mean, we definitely lost someone who's inspired us and thrilled us.
It would not have been honest for me to tell Michael that I thought he should continue playing, because I don't believe he should continue playing. He's come to a point in his life where he needs to go and do something else.
Those close to Jordan insist this was a very well thought out decision several years in the making, and not a reaction to the recent passing of his father. Just last week, Jordan assembled family and close friends to discuss this upcoming decision.
When Michael Jordan retired for the first time, basically everybody believed that the Chicago Bulls are done. Nobody would have thought that they even had a shot at making it to the playoffs. And this is where Scottie Pippen actually proved that he's special.
That team was my favorite team. I mean, to this day, I look at that as my favorite team because Michael had retired suddenly just before camp, and Scottie was clearly the leader of that team. He stepped up, and he was the man. He showed that he could be the man.
This is the first time being out of Michael Jordan's shadow. It gave us a chance to see Scottie in a different light. Not the second fiddle guy, but the head guy.
See, we had a whole bunch of new guys, Steve Kerr, myself,
No one was expecting a whole lot to happen.
It was like, whatever you guys can do, this city's going to appreciate it.
He was just incredible. I mean, he was just running around, kind of doing things, and was getting really a chance to explore every aspect of his game.
He was just unbelievable. He did everything for us. He rebounded the ball. Defensively, he guarded the perimeter. He just did, everything imaginable, which made everybody else's job kind of easy.
He was very helpful on the floor, and he wasn't derogatory. I was a new guy, and I wasn't even supposed to be on the team, but he was willing to help me out on the floor. In practice, we're trying to learn the plays or best way to cover a guy. He really wanted me to succeed and do well because that made him better.
He was always about wins and losses, and can he make his team better?
And he was an MVP type performer that year. I think he won the MVP of the All-Star game. So I think from that standpoint, it really answered a lot of questions in the back of his mind of, what if things were different?
Scottie was the heart and soul of that team and really put that team on his shoulders and was taking all the big shots. And we ended up winning 55 games.
Would have gone to the finals if it wasn't been for a horrible call in New York.
Certainly we had a great year. I think we exceeded anyone's expectation of what we were going to do minus Michael. And what we all proved to ourselves is that, we could do this. And when Michael came back, I think the confidence of him coming back, plus the fact that we had a year or two without him, I think gave us even greater confidence as a team.
Scottie Pippen and the Chicago Bulls had a fantastic season. So let's have a look at Scottie Pippen's number just to underline how special Scottie Pippen was in that year. So, as you can see here, we got Scottie Pippen's career stats. The yellow highlighted one is the 93-94 season, so the one without Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen played 72 games, averaging 38 minutes per game, which was pretty normal back in the days for a superstar. He almost shot 50% from the field, which is a high percentage, especially for a wing player. But now let's get to the interesting stuff. He had his career high of 8.7 rebounds a game, which is incredible because you have to remember we're talking about a small forward. His steals are incredible. 2.9 assists. It's known that Scottie Pippen is one of the best defenders, also one of the best on-ball defenders, but 2.9 assists, man, that's crazy. That guy just had an incredible season. He not only won the MVP of the All-Star game, but he also had one of the most iconic dunks in NBA history.
Shot clock at 6. Davis. Oakley rejected by Grant. Myers for Pippen. Oh, a faithful Scottie Pippen in the face of Patrick Ewing, who did not appreciate.
So let's conclude. That guy had an incredible season. Those numbers are Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway numbers at its peak. Plus, he took an underdog and average Chicago Bulls team to the semi-conference finals and barely missed the Eastern Conference Finals. So what else do you need? So I think Scottie Pippen not only should be measured by his incredible stats, but also what he did with his team. Case closed. Being an NBA historian and especially a fan of the 1990s, it's always great to hear former NBA legends talk about my favorite players. So let's have a look and a listen what other players think of Scottie Pippen.
Tony Kukoc had never played in the United States. And let me tell you something, Scottie says, I'm not going to let him score. Tony Kukoc was like going nuts. He was scared to dribble. Scottie had him so terrified, he scored less than 10 points.
Well, for the Chicago Bulls, there is no question who is this guy. It's a little early to be casting MVP ballots now, but Scottie Pippen is raising some eyebrows.
Yeah, he defines the position at this in this field, the
number three spot.
The 3 spot. Yeah, he's the guy that he's leading them in points and rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and minutes, and he can do everything. He has a defensive demeanor, and he can do it all offensively.
Stockton's out of it.
Okay.
Now you got to pick.
I would have to say I would start it with Scottie Pippen. I would have to start my team with Scottie Pippen.
So why would you take Scottie over Michael or Matt?
This is why I would take Scottie. Do you remember the time that Michael retired? I watched, the second, third time, whatever. But anyway, but look, I'm trying to get, look, I'm serious here.
I know you are. I know you are.
I watched Scottie Pippen when the Chicago Bulls wasn't really good. And Scottie led that team in every statistical category. And I just remember that. And plus, he's a guy that can care less about scoring. He want to stop the best player on the other team. And I dare say, since, while we're in this conversation, that would have been pretty cool to see Michael Scottie Gordon-Michael.
Hey, you guys, if you're active on Facebook, I can really recommend Open Court. As an NBA fan, you should find everything you need. If it's funny NBA videos, impressive highlights, or even NBA news, I check out Open Court every day.